Hi, this is good old Jim. Let me tell you a story. This stairs behind me was a project that I hadn't counted on doing. I put in the carpet upstairs, beautiful carpet. Didn't do the stairs because it just had been done 3 years ago. New carpet upstairs, beautiful. Carpet on the stairs, ugly. So I proceeded to buy additional carpet, figuring I could find somebody to put it in. Well, guess what? I bought the carpet, got it in here, couldn't find anybody to do the job reasonably. Looked at YouTube's, looked at all the avenues I could possibly find to get this carpet installed. Realized I was going to have to do it myself. So here is how I got this job done, and hopefully it can help you. The tools that are necessary to do this job. The stapler I already had. I had to buy the staples. I had to buy some tack strips. That's my hammer. I had to buy the mallet, buy the carpet cutters, and the carpet tool. Total cost under $30. I have over 40 square feet of carpet left out of the 120 square feet. Okay, here was my project. And I'm bringing you in after I put the padding on. The padding was a little difficult, but I ordered the padding, I cut the pieces individually, and the trimming and the stapling was a son of a gun. I did something that I saw online, and I said, let's go around the corner. Let's go ahead and trim off these side pieces here. And so it flows better, the carpet will flow better. It made a lot of sense. I also did something else that I saw on the YouTube. I ended up putting the duct tape on the edges to protect from the hardware spots on the carpet. The carpet backing is what wears out the pad underneath. Well, then I did all this stuff, and it literally took me 4 days. And then I didn't realize that these two stairs up here were way different. They're a lot wider, a lot longer, 36, 38 inches instead of the 33 I've got downstairs. To recap a little bit before I started this video, I did the padding. I pre-cut my pieces of padding. I pre-cut them to be longer than I wanted, actually wall to wall, and then from the very part here down to the bottom of the riser I would measure, and that was the size of the pad that I would cut. Then I would take a stapler and put it in. Actually from here, I actually staple it to get it down to where it's tight. At least tight enough to pull down so I can move it around. Because you have to pull it in and then you trim all the edges inside the tack strips. Get all that trimmed out, and then you finish up with it. Then you have the end result, which is this. You have tack strips, and you got padding inside the tack strips, and they're stapled down on the stairs. One thing I did buy, and I didn't know whether I was going to use them or not because I already had the tack strips in from the old carpet. But I bought a package of these 4 foot long tack strips, a little under $3, but you know what? They're going to come in handy because when I went back to look at the fellow that did the floors without the stapler, he had tack strips everywhere on the edges. And these stairs had tack strips just on the top. Well, I'm doing the risers, which means I'm going to put tack strips on the side, which is going to secure the carpet on the risers. When adding the tack strip, you have to actually cut that little piece out here because I already put the padding in over it, not knowing I'm going to have to come back and add the tack strip. So I can cut off, pull this out, right? And then when you do this, make sure your little spines, those things right there, are facing in. They have to be on the inside. Then you nail it in and get it down. When you're done with that, make sure all your other stuff is actually stapled in and finished off. Be careful, as you know, these things are very, very sharp. I can tell you just in doing this job, I have at least a number of things, about 7 of the cut on the fingers, because you're working in a tight spot with very, very sharp nails. The end result is going to be when you have it in there like that. Now the scary part. The scary part is cutting. That's the one that scared me the most. Got this 8 by 12 or 10 by 12 hunk of carpet laying out on my living room rug, and I've got to cut it, and I've got to cut it right. You mess up a lot. That's $414 worth of carpet. Come to a conclusion that cut 10 feet pieces. Use your minimal amount of waste and actually just do as many steps as that 10 feet will cover. That's what I decided to do. Also, when you're cutting the carpet, all the videos to show that as easy as can be. That's not easy. I have to figure out where the lines are, where the kinks are, and which direction, because carpet has nap, and the nap, or they call it pile. I found out the hard way, not through any video, but I found out the hard way. There's an actual arrow on the back of the carpet that tells you which way the nap goes. And the nap should, there's disagreement on this, but in most cases, the people that I saw in video agree, the carpet needs to flow down the stairs. This needs to be at the top of the stairs. This needs to be at the bottom of the stairs. So I also hunt for my rows, and I actually put a ridge row in there, and you try to get in between the fibers. That's baloney. I just put a line on there and I cut, and there we go. Okay, it's showtime. I take my 10-foot length, 33.75 inches wide, and I laid it on the stairs. We'll see how far it goes. But what I'm going to do is actually get the bottom part in first, leaving a little bit extra down here. Let's see how that works. That's a start. I'll get it in there real tight and go from there. Okay, so far, so good. Man, it's a lot of work. Anyway, I have to line up each step. Then I use my little tool there, little white tool, and I start with the tread, the center step piece, in the middle, and I get that started. I tuck it in best I can. Then I come down and I look at the sides. I start pushing it over the sides, getting it stretched as best as I can with the carpet tool. Get it stretched from side to side, and then down on the riser, get that stretched from side to side and tuck it in on the sides. So far, so good. I can tell you something, it is a lot of work, and it takes a break in between each step. Success! I got my first 7 steps done. It was a little tough at the beginning, but it wasn't all that difficult as we got up the steps. What I did run into was, see those tools right there? Those are everything I needed to cut the excess off. This little piece right here was on the bottom, was on the front, and I had to cut that out. This piece right here was on the top step, right on the riser, or heading up the riser on the one I have to do next. Every video I saw, the easiest thing they did was cut and trim. Guess what? I don't know what kind of blade they had, but I've got brand new blades. I've got a brand new carpet cutter and a nice, very sharp, easy cutter and scissors, and it took all 3 of those to get those little pieces cut. I had to undo the where I had it tucked in, and actually ended up finding a good way to do it was turn it over and cut from behind. You can't cut from the front. Anyway, this is so far so good. Now I've got to figure out how to cut this one and this one because they're a little bit different in size. They have a little nook and cranny and they come a little bit out. I think I'll cut this one narrow and then cut it wider right there where it needs to fit the riser. Okay, the landing is cut. I got it, just looks like it's just right. And I got my little notch over here to move it over to the side. Now I got to figure out how to get this in and get it looking nice. Success. We are now finished. It now matches the carpet upstairs. And it was a job. All is in, all is well. I might go back and touch up a few spots, but all is looking very, very nice. Maybe to help those of you that might want to do this job, I have some things that I have learned from it. First of all, I think I spent way too much on carpet. I think at least $60 or $70 more carpet than I needed. 120 square feet were ordered for this job. I have over 40 left. Now that comes down to how you cut it and how you set it up. But the carpet itself and the pad, at least $70 less I should have paid for the carpet and the pad. The YouTubes were good. They helped me. I looked at 3 of them. That's all that were available. You still have to put some thought together and figure out some stuff on your own as you go. The tools that I thought were necessary, I figured almost $200. Well, after watching the YouTubes, after looking at it, and after completing this job, the end result was the tools that I needed cost me less, and plus the tack strips and staples still cost me under $30 to do it. I did find the prep was a big deal. And one of the guys on YouTube said that's the biggest deal you can do. The padding and the tack strips are the biggest deal. If you get that done right, the carpet does look right, and it's a little bit easier to install. Would I do this again? I would if it were mine, but I think I don't want to do this when I grow up. This is hard work. So be prepared to do some very hard work, but it can be done. Good luck.